Hello, everyone, and welcome to the STRIKEFORCE Overeem versus WERDUM media conference call. STRIKEFORCE Overeem versus WERDUM takes place on Saturday, June 18th from American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. Tickets are still available, and the action will be broadcast on Showtime at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Today, we're fortunate enough to be joined on the call by current STRIKEFORCE heavyweight champion and heavyweight Grand Prix participant, Alistair Overeem. We're also joined by his opponent on June 18th in the heavyweight Grand Prix, Fabricio Verdum. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to STRIKEFORCE CEO Scott Coker, who will make some opening remarks for us.
Thanks, Ryan. I'd like to thank everybody for being on the call today. I have some unfortunate news to share with the media. Following a medical examination yesterday afternoon, Gina Carano's medical clearance was revoked by her doctor, and consequently she will not be able to fight on June 18th. The timetable for Gina's return will be determined after further tests are conducted this week. Gina has offered this statement. She's saying, I'm seriously disappointed not to be fighting on June 18th. I'd like to thank Greg Jackson and Team Jackson for such an amazing camp. I hope this is only a brief setback. And that's as much information as we have today on the Gina Carano situation. We will have a replacement fight, and replacement fight will be a fight that we've already announced, and it'll be the KJ Noons versus Jorge Masvidal, so that will move up into the Showtime slot. But today, as you guys know, we have two of the world's top heavyweights here today. We have Alistair Overeem and Fabricio Verdum. They're headlining the stacked card on Dallas on June 18th to be broadcast on Showtime. I'm very excited to see these guys. The next leg of the heavyweight tournament. We've had two great fights so far. We've got these four guys, including Josh Barnett and Brett Rogers, also on the card. And we always love the tournaments, and I look forward to a big competition and let the best man win. Ryan and I were in Dallas about 10 days ago, doing some great promotion with Herschel Walker, and it was a great press tour. And I can't wait to get back and give the fans a great night of fight. So back to you, Ryan.
All right, at this time we're going to open up for questions for Alistair, Fabricio, as well as Scott.
Thank you very much. The question and answer session will be conducted electronically. If you would like to ask a question, please do so by pressing the star key followed by the digit 1 on your touch-tone telephone. If you are using a speakerphone, please make sure your mute function is turned off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. Once again, it's star 1 on your touch-tone telephone. We'll take our first question from Will Gray with USCCombatSports.com.
Good morning, and thank you, Alistair, Fabricio, and Scott Coker, for being on the call. How are y'all doing?
Well, I'm good. This is Alistair speaking.
How you doing, Alistair? First things first, how do you prepare for a fight going into Verdum? You guys met years ago, and he beat you with a Kimura submission. Since then, you've gone on a heavyweight tear and, have completely changed your game. What do you look forward to doing this fight?
Well, I've basically focused on myself. Always I sit down with the team, I look at an opponent, I look at their strong points, I look at their weak points, while we make a training schedule, plan, and the backup plan, and the backup plan. And, we've been doing that for the last 4 years. We've become more professional at it all the time. And, how do you get ready? I focus on myself. I don't really worry about what other people are training. Of course, everybody has a growth factor which you have to consider it. But, I'm always focused on myself. Just get myself into good shape. Don't get overtrained. Because that was one of the factors which I had to do with a lot previous. Just get into top shape. Stay into top shape because obviously my training is now done. I'm just maintaining it now. And, stay happy, stay motivated, stay healthy. No stress.
Awesome. This question is for Fabricio. Fabricio, how close are you watching this Saturday's fight between Shane Carwin and Junior Dos Santos now that you are both under the same banner of Zuffa as potential future opponents?
I like the idea. This fight, I like this Junior Cigano win because I like the idea. I'm fight again Junior in the future. just waiting the next Saturday for June Cigano win for in the Plus. I'm fight again with him.
Awesome. All right, thank you both. That's the end of my question. Thank you.
And we'll take our next question from John Morgan with MMAJunkie.com.
Thank you for the time. Hey, if I could start with Mr. Coker, please, for some quick clarification. Will Sarah still fight on this card? Will you be looking for a new opponent for her?
You know what? That has yet to be determined, and we'll probably have an answer for you guys by the end of the day.
Okay, great. And I know Julie Kedzie was waiting for an opponent as well. Has anything been determined there?
No.
Okay, all right. Thanks for the clarification, Scott. If I could start with Alistair, please. Obviously, you guys have a history together. How much of a motivating factor is this rematch? Does that do you think back to the original fight at all?
Yes, I do. I know I don't. I have a lot of motivation. Believe me, I have a lot of motivation. But I'm just happy. I'm just happy this fight is happening. I've wanted to fight Fabricio, then the tournament came around. He beat Fedor first off, then the tournament came around. For me, an excellent opportunity to fight him. And if I'm motivated, we're going to see that next week Saturday how motivated I am. But, I'm motivated.
Absolutely. The way the tournament is set up, it seems like the guys on your side of the bracket have a much harder road to victory than maybe the guys on the other side of the bracket. Is there any frustration that the thing was set up the way it was, or do you like the challenges that lie in front of you?
I like the challenges that lie in front of me, and you're going to have to be the strongest in the tournament, so you're going to face the strongest guy anyway. And I never complain about a fight. I'm a fighter. I love to fight. It's what I do for a living. I've trained very hard for this fight, as well I do for my next fight, and I'm just ready. I'm ready to go. I was ready 3 weeks ago.
Great, thank you, Alistair. And for Fabricio also, can you talk about that first fight? Do you feel that this gives you any kind of an edge mentally because of the first fight, or do you feel like this is something totally new and that doesn't factor in?
Yeah, I like the idea because the last time in 2006 in Pride, I like it because the first round I beat Overeem. I like it this time is the first round too. I say again the June is my month because June I beat Fedor too. I'm excited for this fight. I'm training a lot too. I'm just wait for this fight.
Absolutely. And Fabricio, do you think about where a win would leave you in the rankings? I mean, you talked about beating Fedor or beating Antonio Silva. This would be an amazing run for you, and people are asking you about UFC fighters. Do you think about where this would leave you in the rankings? I mean, do you think this would put you as the number one heavyweight in the world?
Yeah, but I like the rank. I like the... I like to say I'm number one, number two. I like the public, the guys, the fans say I'm number one, number two, or number three. Just the fans say I like this. I like that.
Okay, great. Thank you all.
And we'll go next to Leif Knudsen with Fox Twin Cities.
Hi there, this is Leif Knudsen. First of all, same question for both of you. We'll start with for Doom. The 2006 match was fought in a ring. This is going to be fought in a cage. Have you trained differently for that or expect anything different?
No, for me it's the same. The cage or in the ring for me is the same. Just it's not different. It's just because they stop the fight in the ring. Because no have the cage, but in the cage, I like it because no stop the fight. I don't like it stop the fight, it start again. I'm just this different because the ring have the cage is good. You can go out of the ring. You can go out of the cage. Yeah, that's it.
All right, and to you, Alistair, same question. You prefer the cage or the ring, or how do you see it different this time?
Well, I like the idea of a ring, but I think a cage is more safe. You can't fall out of it. I train a lot of stuff in the last 5 years. The whole way I prepare for a fight, and did I train on the cage? I think the cage is one fact of MMA today. I think everybody who is professional needs to keep his surroundings in consideration, and you need to work with it. You need to use it in your advantage. So yes, I've been training differently now than 5 years ago.
Sure. Can't wait for the fight, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Luke Thomas with SB Nation.
Good afternoon, everyone. This question is for Scott Coker. Scott, can you give us an indication, is there any issue remaining with respect to Josh Barnett's licensing? Is all of that settled at this moment?
Yeah, Josh is going to be fine, and he will be fighting in Texas on the 18th. So we don't anticipate any issues.
Great, thank you.
We'll take our next question from Ron Kruk with Inside MMA.
Afternoon, everyone. A quick question for Scott. Scott, could you give us any more details on Gina's situation? Like, why wasn't she medically cleared?
You know what? I can't, and you know what? We just have no further comment other than what we stated earlier, that there'll be further tests pending, but right now we have no other information.
Did you speak to her, Scott, and how frustrated was she? If you did, this was a big comeback for her.
Yeah, I know that she's really disappointed. We didn't talk to her directly. We talked to her representative, but it's an unfortunate situation, and we just we'll be moving forward with the KJ News fight. So it's a fight that I think KJ and Masvidal, which will be, I think, a fight that leads up to maybe Gilbert Melendez's next opponent. So it's going to be an exciting fight, and we just don't have any other further information on Gina.
Okay. And, of course, the undercard is being broadcast on HDNet, so we lose the KJ Noons fight. Are you working on replacing that fight for the prelims?
Yeah, we'll be reaching out to Andrew here shortly and continue that conversation, because that is important to us, and we want to make sure that everything's right.
Okay. Final question, this one to Alistair. Alistair, I know that you fought Brett Rogers in St. Louis, and that was one of your first fights here in the States in quite some time. Do you feel being a part of this heavyweight tournament is an opportunity to maybe introduce yourself to mainstream American sports fans?
Yes, I do. I see this Grand Prix as an opportunity to show not only to the fans in the U.S., but to the fans all over the world that I'm the number one. And the number one you don't become by beating no names. You have to beat the names. And I think this tournament holds very good names, experienced names. It holds all sorts of names. But I believe every fighter in the tournament is good, experienced, and you got to beat the best to become the best.
Great. Thanks, guys.
We'll go next to Camilo Ortiz with El Octagono.
Yes, hi, my name is Camilo from El Octagono. I just have 2 quick questions. This one's for Fabricio. You're coming off a 3-win streak with your last victory over the legend, Fedor Emelianenko. And before that, you won with, you had defeated Antonio Bigfoot Silva, who just also defeated Fedor right after you. If you defeat Alistair Overeem on the 18th, should you be named the new legend or new emperor of MMA? And also, what are you doing to prepare yourself against Alistair's incredible strength and stand-up?
Yeah, the last time I'm just in heavy jiu-jitsu in 2006, but now I'm training a lot in stand-up too. I'm training wrestling with Marco Munoz. I'm training the ground with my coach, Ratinho. Yeah, I'm excited for this fight, guys. I'm waiting. I'm just wait for this fight at 18 because I'm not fight 1 year. Yeah, I like fight maybe four times in 1 year, but I'm just wait. I have big surprise for everybody.
Okay, thank you. And also for Alistair, Alistair, you're coming off a nine fight winning streak in MMA and one no contest. If you had said before that you will, if you win, that you will win this tournament, and that your plan is to unify the belts between the Strikeforce and UFC. Is that still your plan? And what have you done to defend yourself from Fabricio's incredible jiu-jitsu if the fight does go to the floor?
Well, that definitely is my plan, but let's take it one step at a time. I'm taking this fight very serious. If you look at both our papers, it's a very exciting fight. Fabricio has been incredible the last couple of years, but me myself has not been sitting still. So yeah, it's going to be an incredible fight. And what do I do to defend against Verdum's excellent Brazilian jiu-jitsu? I can't tell you that because then I would give away too much of my strategy. But let's just say I'm ready. I feel ready. I've been ready for a couple of weeks now, and I'm just very eager to step in the cage and show all the fans what I got.
Awesome. Thank you, guys, and I can't wait to see the fight.
We'll go next to Andrew Malman with Bleacher Report. Mr. Malman, we're unable to hear you. You might try pressing your mute button.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys. Good luck to both you guys coming up. I just have one question for you, Alistair. Considering the growth of the sport's popularity, how do you see the American market, and what kind of impact do you hope to make in the American marketplace?
I see the American market as a future. Japan has some problems, and especially with the triple disaster happening there. Yeah, definitely. It has moved to the U.S. The U.S. already was a dominant place for MMA worldwide. Yeah, a lot of things are happening there, and how do I see myself? I definitely want to make an impact on this tournament, so definitely on this fight. I do see myself fighting more in the States in the future. So, yeah, I'm a fighter. We're just going to have to wait and see how things turn out. But let's just focus on this fight first, and then we'll see how it goes.
Right on. Thank you very much.
We'll go next to Marcus Cowell with MMA NYTT.
Yes, this first question is for Alistair Overeem. Obviously, you've followed Verdum, I'm sure, over the last couple of years and his development. Is there anything in his game that you see differently, without going into your game plan too much? Do you see any big differences that you feel like you can, or not differences that you can feel like you can capitalize on?
Any weaknesses, or what are you talking about? What do you mean exactly? Can you repeat the question?
You guys fought in 2006. That was 5 years ago. Obviously, you both developed as fighters, but is it anything in particular that you see that you have developed, or Verdum has not developed, or has developed, that you see this fight going differently from last time?
Oh, this fight is going to be different than last time. You're going to see a way more aggressive Alistair Overeem, and I'll be looking for the knockout from the first second. Yeah, what else can I say? I'm a different fighter. Fabricio's a different fighter, but I'm definitely a different fighter. So, yeah, in that case, do I consider him having some technique? Of course, he's been training. He's been preparing for my weapons, for my arsenal. So, and I believe he's confident. I'm very confident. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Thank you. And the next question I'll ask in Spanish, and I'll translate the answer. Señor Fabricio Verdum, hola Marcos. ¿Cómo andas? Te tengo una pregunta. Ya, la diferencia más notable de Overeem es que pesa mucho más esta vez, ¿no? Que la última vez. ¿Te preocupa algo la diferencia de pesa, o no cree que hace ninguna diferencia?
No hay ninguna diferencia, cabrón. Le voy a partir la cara como la otra vez.
¿Quiere que diga eso?
No, tú tranquilo, no hace falta que le diga nada. Lo que entienda en español, ya está.
Okay. My question was if one of the biggest differences obviously, Overeem obviously as well, it's the weight difference, and if there's is a concern to WERDUM, the weight difference, and the answer was that he doesn't concern him at all. Thank you, guys. Looking forward to next Saturday.
We'll go next to Steven Marocco with MMAJunkie.com.
Hey, Scott, can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah.
I know you can't comment on the specifics of Gina's withdrawal, but were you given at least like an indication of when she'd be able to fight, when and if she'd be able to fight again?
No, you know what, Steve? We just have no further comment on Gina's fight, and we have a fight to promote and a great tournament, and until we hear something further, we have nothing to say.
Okay, thanks. Fair enough. Next question for Alistair and Fabricio. We've recently seen the first crossover fight with Nick Diaz versus GSP. I'm wondering if the stakes or the importance of the tournament changed for you guys at all after the buyout of STRIKEFORCE.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the stakes or the importance of the tournament changed all for you guys after the buyout of STRIKEFORCE by Zuffa.
Well, for me it hasn't. I'm just focused on this fight, and I don't know exactly what is happening behind the scenes. I heard about the GSP Diaz fight, but that fight has no relevance to my situation. I'm in the tournament, locked in. 3 more fights to go if you win. And then there might be some crossover fight happening, but for the time being, it's not on the schedule.
Do you crossover if you do win the tournament?
If I would win the tournament, I personally, and I believe many fans with me, would love to see the winner of the tournament against UFC champion, Cain Velasquez.
And Fabricio, what are your thoughts on that, about the importance of the tournament after the buyout, and would you like to cross over and perhaps face the UFC champion if you win the tournament?
Yo creí que iba a ser una buena para el MMA en general, ha sido muy bueno para todos, pero creo que al mismo tiempo para la gente que está empezando no es muy bueno, porque no habrá mucha oportunidad para la gente, ¿no? Pero en general me pareció muy bueno, y la idea que yo tengo es de que yo quiero ganar el entrenamiento, quiero ganar la competición para que pueda retar después de desafiarle al campeón de UFC. Yo quiero unificar los títulos, los títulos, ¿no? Yo quiero hacerla, ese es mi gran plan.
I think that's going to be very good to participate of this huge event that is UFC. And if I win this Grand Prix, I will unify the titles, and I want to be the champion of this Grand Prix, and after defeat the champion of UFC.
Después voy a aprovechar con mi familia.
Okay. And go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, was there anything else? I'm sorry.
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, one last question for Alistair, if I can. Alistair, you recently helped in the relief effort in Japan, and you're a very popular fighter over there. Given the state of how things are going over there, do you have hopes that Zuffa will be able to put on an event there in the future?
I definitely hope they can do that. I fought for Japan 11 years, a little over 11 years. I had over half of my fights in my career there. And, I just love Japan. I love the States, too. I love Japan as well. And it would be awesome if we can have another show there. It would be awesome to go back there. Fight.
Okay, thanks, guys.
We'll go next to Fred Ritani from the Sports Courier.
Hi, guys. This question is for Scott Coker. Scott, obviously, Brett Rogers is facing Josh Barnett. And it seems to me a lot of people are pretty much counting out Brett Rogers, even though he has a pretty good record and was a good heavyweight prospect a couple years back before his losses to Fedor and Alistair. And I was just what are your thoughts on Brett Rogers, and if you feel like he's being underrated?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in MMA, anything can happen, and that's the beauty of the sport. And when you have a heavy puncher and a guy that's 6'5" and has to diet down and make 265, if he lands a shot on the button, Josh, I think it would probably knock at anybody. And Brett's used to being the underdog. When he fought Andrei Arlovski, he was considered the big underdog there, and what happened in that fight. So Brett's fought some tough guys. I mean, he raised his hand when we offered him Fedor, and there was a minute there where I thought he was going to stop Fedor. So, the guy is a big man, very strong, and, a one-punch knockout artist that can be a threat at any time.
And another question for you, Scott. In the case of alternates, say, God forbid, Alistair or Antonio or any of the fighters get injured, what alternates do you have planned since, obviously, the unfortunate accident with Shane Del Rosario, and, of course, Fedor is tied up right now with his fight with Dan Henderson?
Well, we have a couple, big fights on the fight card next weekend. We have Daniel Cormier, and he's fighting Jeff Munson. And also, we have, depending on what happens with Alistair, we have Alistair's brother in the wings there. So we have 3 or 4 really solid guys that could be brought up. And, let's see what happens with Fedor.
Great. Thank you, sir.
We'll take our next question from Bill Torres with MMA Meltdown. And Mr. Torres, we're unable to hear you. You might check your mute button or pick up your handset. Due to no response, we'll move on. We'll go to Matt Jewell with Bleacher Reports. And Mr. Jewell, we're unable to hear you. You might try pressing your mute button or picking up your handset.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Matt. I have a question for Scott. Are there any plans for Gina's opponent, Sarah, to have another opponent, or is she just being completely dropped from the card?
That's something that's still being determined at this point. We'll have an answer probably by the end of the day.
All right, thank you.
We'll take our next question from Bob Emanuel with Scripps Howard News Service.
Alistair, back in December, you won both the K1 World Grand Prix title, and then you followed it up by winning the Dream title. How difficult of a month was that for you, and how long did it take you to kind of recover from that before you can really start training for this fight?
Well, I took a couple weeks off because my body needed a rest. December was a very hectic month. I did a lot of media appearances in Holland, a lot of television. Of course, 4 fights in a month does have its toll. So after that, I took a couple of weeks off, and then I started the preparation for this fight. And, of course, I was still in very good shape, but I did need a couple of weeks off.
And just looking at that, in a 1-month period to win those two, the tournament and the title, how impressive was that for you? Do you think that was, maybe the most impressive month of your career, or do you see anything kind of topping that 1 month?
Well, that's why I also wanted the holiday to process it all, because a lot of things did happen, and looking back, it was a very crazy month. A lot of traveling, a lot of studios in, studios out, fighting, a lot of interviews, a lot of everything. But I would say it was, I honestly could say it was one of my most hectic months ever.
All right, thank you.
I didn't do that before.
All right, thank you.
We'll take our next question from Mike Chiapetta with AOL.
Hi, Scott. I know we're obviously just getting to these June 18th fights now, but given that the guys who fought in February have had a few months off already, do you have a general idea of when the next round will happen?
Yeah, we're looking at sometime in the early fall. So we'll have an announcement probably in a week or so, but plan on early fall as the next tournament date.
Okay. And you still hope to finish this by the end of the year?
That was the original plan, but you know what? If it carries over into 2012, and we can finish the fight within a calendar year, that would be sufficient.
Okay. And just one quick question for Fabricio. Since you have a submission win over Alistair, a lot of people believe that you have the edge on the ground, but a lot of people believe that he has the edge in the stand-up department. If the fight begins standing, if it stays there and you can't get it to the ground, do you feel that this is a fight that you could still win that particular way?
Todos saben que yo quiero pelear en el suelo porque la mejor lo que ahora hago es en el suelo. Yo soy profesional de pie también, hago de pie, pero lo que más me gusta es el suelo. Y Overeem sabe que yo voy al suelo. Y yo sé que él quiere pelear de pie. Entonces es una pelea el mejor del mundo de pie y el mejor del mundo en el suelo. Entonces todos saben que yo no tengo secretos para mi plan. El plan que yo tengo es ir al suelo y ya está, y se acabó.
Overeem is very good standing, and I'm very good in the ground. So it's going to be a fight that the best in standing and the best in the ground. So everybody knows that I don't have secrets, and I'm very prepared, and I will do my job.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We'll go next to Jody Andrzejewski with Cable News Network.
Hi, thank you. My first question is for Fabricio, and I was wondering if you could tell me, going up against the current heavyweight champion, what do you feel you're bringing to the table that will prove the most challenging to Alistair?
Can you repeat, please, the question?
I was wondering if you could tell me, what do you feel that you're bringing to the table that will prove the most challenging in battling Alistair?
Claro que sí, es como todas las peleas que yo hago. Yo siempre me preparo muy bien para pelear con quien sea. Entonces seguramente que va a ser un gran desafío porque Overeem enseñó a que como 2 o 3 años que está enseñando al mundo que es muy bueno. Pero yo le voy a enseñar que yo soy su padre.
Overeem is a tough fighter. Like I said before, he's very good standing, but I'm very prepared. And for me, it's going to be a big challenge, but I will show the world that I will beat him again.
Okay, great. My next question is for Alistair. I'm wondering, have you been working on developing any particular moves or skills since your last fight that you think are going to be especially effective when you're fighting against Fabricio?
I've been moving on a lot of particular moves during my last fight. You're going to see them all next week Saturday, because of course we can't talk about it right now. You understand that?
Okay, thanks. Good luck to both of you. I look forward to the fight.
Thank you.
And as a reminder, it is *1 if you would like to ask a question. We'll go next to Dale D'Souza with Butcher Reports.
Hello, Fabricio, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Obviously, not to overlook Alistair Overeem. Obviously, he is the Strikeforce heavyweight champion, and you do hold a victory over him in Pride. However, with a win over Alistair, are you thinking possibly of your next challenge, which we obviously know now is Antonio Bigfoot Silva, who you also have defeated in the past?
No, ahora yo estoy solo pensando en esta pelea. El plan que yo tengo es ganar el tournament, seguramente, pero mi foco ahora es solo en esta pelea. Yo solo estoy pensando en el sábado, el 18 de junio, y ya está, nada más. Yo lo pienso en eso. Después que pase la pelea, yo voy a pensar en la próxima.
He's just thinking his next fight. He's training a lot. He's very focused, and he will just think in the next fight when he fights now in June 18th, and after he will think in the next fight. Now he's very focused in this fight, and he wants this fight a lot.
All right, thank you. And one more question, if I may, for Mr. Scott Coker. If you can hear me?
Yes.
All right.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, thank you, sir. Just to clarify, the KJ Noons Jorge Masvidal fight. Could you talk about any possible title implications that may be on the line for both men, if any?
Yeah, you know what? As I stated earlier, this fight potentially could have title implications to it, depending on the outcome and how they perform. And I also would think that the Jay-Z Wilcox fight on the undercard will as well. So those are two lightweight fights that I think are going to have title implications, and we'll see how they do and perform. And that's a conversation we can have on June 19th.